Hey, what's going on? This is Martone, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness, and this is going to be a interesting post, a interesting video that I'm sharing this time. Seeing that, man, there are so many beliefs in terms of how and why to do, I think, pretty much every exercise that a person might do. And for this video to do squats. And uh, I think I said it before sometime over the last 2 years or so, but I usually um, try to avoid posting squat videos, which I think many of my subscribers might have noticed by now, um, and were probably curious about it. But when it comes to squats, just like many other exercises, the belief on how far down you should go when you do your squats. Um, and I think going for almost 30 years, I've had a belief that, what was it that I heard people say, the adults say, when I was growing up? I think they said ass to the grass or something similar to that. And I have never agreed to that. And depending on, almost regardless of what some of us do as far as sport, job, or just living your life, in my opinion, there's no good reason, in my opinion, especially going on 40 years old, depending on when certain people see this video, in April of 2025, almost said 2024. But to not have your butt go all the way down to the ground or anywhere close to it. Um, I believe that's an unnecessary movement to do, regardless of how much weight you actually have on the bar. But do believe there should be a certain amount of movement. Um, Otherwise, to a certain degree, it's a waste of time. But there, with you going down that far, um, again, I don't believe that helps you in any way in terms of being an athlete, in terms of doing certain jobs, if any job, or when you're doing certain things in your life. You know, if something happens, it's spring now, but in the winter time, if your car got stuck in the snow in a ditch or whatever, you going squatting down that far is not going to be the reason you're able to help lift or push um, the car compared to what I'm about to do right now with the little bit of weight I have on. That is more likely to help you be able to push a car, be able to do certain things as an offensive lineman, as a defensive lineman, as a power forward, as a center for basketball. Um, Even as a defensive back for football. Doing squats at 90 degrees or somewhere close to it is much better for pretty much everything that you do compared to the people who think they're supposed to go all the way down. Um, if the belief um, for you to go all the way down as far as you can go, if there's a belief that your muscles won't grow unless you do that, I'll leave that alone because I don't necessarily agree with that either. But the good thing is that people have to understand, and what you have heard me say and will continue to hear me say, different things work for each person. There's if depending on what you do, which is unlikely, but depending on what you do, if you think deep squatting helps and you have proof of it, go for it. But other than that, it's likely a waste of time depending on what you're doing it for. So again, I usually try to avoid videos like this, but I think it's past time, and this might only be, I don't remember how many times I've posted squat videos over the last 3 years, but or more than that. But you know, I'm gonna get back to doing what I do with high hopes. No one is, depending on what your difference of opinion is, that you're respectful about it. So again, um, for the squats that I do, and a lot of people, I believe a lot of people should do, is to not go down with my ass to the floor, but to do something to where it's about 90 degrees or real close to it. And not that it matters to you, but I did at least one set before I started just to make sure I can actually do it today. So doesn't mean I'll be able to do it this time, but I did do it once before. So, man, the interesting thing about that movement compared to what so many others have done for decades, um, if not centuries. Um, again, everybody has a thing that might work for them, and I am one of many um, people and trainers that believe that you don't have to go down that far. I believe it's an unnecessary movement, and that's regardless of if the person is trying to go really heavy or not. So I only have 385, I think, on the bar this time, compared to, first of all, due to issues that I was having last year, I actually sold the rack that I had, and the bar and a lot of the weights, actually almost all of the weights, if not all of the weights that I had. So this is a new rack, but I'm gonna get rid of that rack as soon as possible and get the one I had before. So I say that to say I'm just now getting back into barbell squats. So thankfully I was still doing leg stuff, but thankfully able to put this back on. Otherwise I would have a lot more on, but again, especially I think there was one video that I posted to where, and I might hear it this time too, but oh well. Um, I posted a video, and I think it's my fault because I didn't go. I should have went down a little further, but um, someone said something about how with you not going down uh, to the ground or something like that, you're basically twerking. It's kind of scary on how stupid people are, especially with me being going on 40 soon, depending on when certain people see this. Um, but the fact that, and I have noticed lately, for the last few months, about the last 5 or 6 months, that people, almost regardless of what exercise I'm doing, are overly concerned with my butt. Even when I'm doing dumbbell rows, which is scary, but as far as this, again, I don't believe you have to go down to the floor. Um, and that's regardless of what any of us do. Sports, certain jobs, any job, um, pretty much regardless of what your lifestyle is. So, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who feel different. And then the weird thing is that there are certain people who don't know better, but will still argue with me and others, saying that you have to go all the way down. And that's just because certain people have been told that for decades, which is unfortunate for some of us, being told certain things that aren't true. And then, depending on the situation for each person, not hearing different or better until way later, way later. So, hopefully this catches some of you, if not all of you, and at the right time to at least give you an idea. And hopefully you still bend your knees, to a certain point to where you're actually getting a workout in for your legs. But again, for anybody trying to get down to the floor, that's where a lot of people, and again, it's different for each person, but it's more likely depending on how, why, and when. For those who try to go down to the floor, those are the ones who are getting hurt more than everybody else, in my opinion. And I have proof. Um, but at the same time, it's different for each person. So yes, there are people, and even if you're on certain performance enhancement drugs, your body can only take so much, whether you're taking certain drugs and supplements or not. So, again, it's different for everybody. If it worked for you, go for it, in terms of the movement. Um, but like I said, I don't think I've ever agreed with it. It just depends on how far down a person goes. And hopefully it's at least 90 degrees and maybe a little lower than that. But as far as going all the way down to the ground until you can't go anymore, and then trying to get all the way back up, I don't think um, that does anything to help the person, again, whether it's athlete or anybody else. So just for uh, fun, I'm gonna go ahead and do one more set. Since I have all this weight on and don't know how long before I put more on, depending on how much more. But yeah, I don't agree with going down more than necessary. It still works and it's actually worth it. Damn. All right, so don't know what's all the noise about today, but do what works for you. Hopefully you're having fun. And then whether you're having fun or not, hopefully whatever you're doing is working. And if you're at a point, regardless of your age, experience, whatever, if you're at a point um, to where stuff seems to not be working, hopefully you are able to see certain things that helps you, motivates you to make some kind of change. Uh, the range of motion, the number of reps, um, the amount of time you take in between sets, uh, drinking a certain amount of water during and after the workout, um, having a spotter, depending on how much weight you put on, having a spotter to make sure you do a certain range of motion um, that works for you and whatever you're trying to do. So again, unfortunately, maybe fortunately actually, but all the stuff for those who do see the video that I'm going to hear about how you have to go down. And so again, depending on what's being said, go for it, I guess. Hopefully it's somewhat respectful compared to stupid and unnecessary. Um, do what works for you. Hopefully it's working. If not, hopefully you figure out what works for you, especially if you at least try this. I think you'll notice how much better you feel doing squats like this. Especially your knees and back, and how much better you'll be able to do stuff. Again, that's whether you're an athlete, you have a certain job, certain emergencies happen. And that's another thing. This is more than what you look like. And as far as being able to do certain things, how that helps you in everyday life and in case of emergency. So again, it's about more than what you look like. It's about more than subscribers. It's about more than views and followers, depending on how many views and how helpful this is to the people who watch it. I'm gonna try not to tell you the story that I'm tempted to tell you, because I've told it a few times over the last 30 years, almost 30 years. But again, you never know. Again, I'm going on 40 soon, depending on when certain people see the video. So to have a certain amount of strength, to have a certain amount of ability, and to not only do stuff for and by yourself, but if you have a situation, if not situations, to where you're around and able to help certain people, and hopefully you are actually able to mentally, emotionally, and physically help the person, specifically physically, and then with you having a certain amount of practice with this stuff and some others, to where certain things happen and you're just able to help the person without thinking, hey, am I strong enough? Am I fast enough? Am I this? Am I that? That's what practice is for. So as much as many people might hate practice and likely hate practice, I used to love practice. Technically, I still do. But when I was the only one looking forward to track practice when when I was on the track team, trying to get everybody to shut up so I can hear the announcements on whether or not track practice was canceled or not. Basketball practice, I wasn't against it. I kind of look forward to it, especially seeing that I wasn't good at basketball, still not. But the opportunity to try to get better before and during practice, and on many occasions after practice. So didn't really work for me as far as shooting, but I was one of the best defenders. So best defenders as far as rebounds, steals, and I wasn't the one getting scored on compared to everybody else. So, so yeah, it has to be more than what you look like. It's about what you do. If you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're a brother, if you're a sister, if you if you have a certain job, if you have a certain business, depending on what you if you are in situations to where you have one to be able to help yourself, two if there's stuff that happens and you might be blessed to help someone else, if not multiple people. Again, I'm going to try not to share some of the stories that I'm tempted to tell you, especially seeing that the one is based on a dream that somebody had. If you remember me telling that story a few times over the years, uh, compared to another story that's actually true because I was the one who did it. So, or it had that was involved. So again, I've always been interested in being strong and being fast. I don't really try to do stuff to be fast as much anymore. Um, for the last 12 years or so, I haven't really done anything to try to be fast anymore. But to be strong, to be have a certain amount of stamina, and being able to do stuff myself. And then if certain things happen to where I can help others, it's been a while, depending on what's going on, but it's been a while. But if I'm able to help others, especially if I actually like the person, but even if I don't know the person, if I'm able to help certain people and save their life or prevent certain things or help overcome certain things, if you can do that, why not do it? So again, hopefully you enjoyed this video at least a little bit. Give it a like, share it with certain people who actually might be interested in it, or who you think might probably need to consider making some changes. Um, Depending on why, but certain people who should probably consider making changes and doing squats like this compared to what many people have been taught for decades, if not centuries, depending on how old certain people are and still doing it, especially if they're older than me. And that's the interesting thing about people having being able to make their own decisions. Even if you were taught certain things for a certain period of time, seen certain things for a certain period of time, trial and error can be an interesting thing, depending on how many errors. But at the same time, if you manage to succeed, and again, I really believe you'll feel better doing it, feel better after it, um, and likely perform better at everything that you do, especially with lower anything involving the lower body. So again, hopefully you press the like button to help me out. Um, and then if you genuinely actually like the video, then like I said, share it with people who might be interested, people that you hope to be interested, especially if you might have had this conversation with certain people. Probably not, who knows, but and then subscribe if you at least like the video at least a little bit, or anything about me to where you look forward to possibly seeing more videos, and that's if you don't look at some of the previous videos. But yeah, hopefully subscribe so that you're more notified on future videos, and keep doing what I can to help people that are actually interested in stuff strength training related. Also, for those who don't know, I'm the owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness, and I do online personal training. So um, I won't always do full video like this compared to shorts on here, but with the online videos, you get to see and hear me actually showing and telling on how, what, when, and why to do stuff. So for those who want that kind of help, those who need that kind of help, if you send me a direct message at Fuller Fitness BNY on Instagram, I'll put that stuff at the bottom of the video. I want to say, especially this season with the stuff that many of us might have going on, but Again, no one can force you to be strong. No one can force you to learn. No one can force you to try to be better. And that's one of my biggest things, especially when I was younger. I wasn't sure what I was good at, what I might be the best at, but I darn sure did my darndest to try to be good at different things, to possibly try to be the best at different things that I was doing, especially if I liked it, obviously. But for the most part, you don't necessarily get better by accident, and it's hard to get better without some form of repetition, even if it's stuff you don't like. So again, I believe in this. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't say anything about it if I didn't believe it or interested in it. And thankfully, with me being who I am and the way that I've always functioned, not only am I willing to tell you this stuff, show you this stuff, which should make it obvious, but I'm willing to prove as a person, as a man, and as a owner and trainer of my business, prove to you that this can work. Again, it might work different for others. Um, so again, as your trainer, I'm not going to force you to do this. I just believe you should do this. So again, if you're interested in online personal training and we do live video chats, I only have room for a certain number of people to do that per day, Monday through Saturday. So you got to get in where you fit in, and contact me as soon as possible for that. Otherwise, you do online personal training to where I send you your videos and you do them. And then if you have questions, comments, or concerns, you send me a message in that same app. Let me know that you want some changes made, or you're not sure about certain things, or whatever the case may be, and I make changes as needed to make sure it's best for you, because it's not about me, even though it's my program. So again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you are tempted or motivated to see the next ones, and maybe even look at some past videos. Hopefully you're doing well. This is Martone, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. Take care.